Hey everyone, my name's Dean. Let's talk crypto. This is where you subscribe for daily Bitcoin updates and technical analysis. We track the price of Bitcoin as a proxy for the cryptocurrency markets at large. Today is March 17th, 2022, and this is just an impromptu live stream just because I felt like it. And I'm just going to be talking about what Bitcoin's doing, because I think it's a big day. I think it's a very, very big day for Bitcoin, for crypto in general. This is the last of it. So yeah, I'm going to give it a second for people to congregate if they so choose. So I'll just be fiddling about for a few minutes and get started. Hey, Nicholas. All right. So, yeah, today's huge. Today is huge for me. If you're subscribed, you'll probably have seen uh, this morning's analysis, in which I shared my long-term view, my long-term analysis for Bitcoin, and it differs from my usual stance, or what I was calling for before, right? And really, really quickly, that's simply that I'm seeing Bitcoin continue out of this wave 4 correction, okay? I just, for some reason, didn't see this. And I look at price action every day, and all of this is time frame agnostic. It's perfectly fractal. So I guess I just don't track forming impulses as much, because we don't have as many. We've been in correction for the past, I don't know. We've been corrective for the past year plus. Okay, so I'm used to trading chop. I'm used to trading corrections, just like the one I'm gonna talk about in this video. I'm used to trading garbage, and if people, amateur traders are gonna think they're pro traders, in this impulsive price action, because you just literally put buys in. You don't even have to make a clean entry, and you win your trade. And you just let it ride, right? And that's pretty much what we call up only price action. I'm preparing for up only price action right here. Once we get out of this, I definitely do see up only price action for approximately. Oh, my brother asked, because he said, "How long do you think it's going to take to reach the targets?" And I said, "That's a really good question." If we look at this wave, let's look at this wave. Let's look at that. Let's do a rough estimate, but an informed, kind of educated estimate. How long will it take? Let's say that I'm correct, and we can hit the 1618, as you do every day. Every freaking day, you have impulses. Third waves hit their 1618, right? That is standard. That is common, okay? And a lot of them go between the 1618 and the 2, okay? So a lot of them fall in this range, right? So that's common. Like, all the time, every time. If you trade, well, I don't know why I did it like that. If you trade, you see wave 3 fall between the 1618 and the 2 customarily. So I would not be surprised if I say 1,000,000 for Bitcoin. That's pretty much a minimum, right? Now that we're way past the 1 Fibonacci extension, it's got to be the 1618. Wave 3 has to hit the 1618 at minimum, okay? And if it's extended, we're talking about a 2618, 3618. I mean, there's just like crazy numbers that I can't even read. I can't even read that. Who can read this? I can't read it. It's just a lot of money, okay? But all I'm saying is that how long will it take is a good question. Because if we look at this wave, once again, this wave 5, okay? We've been in wave 5 of wave 3. And we took approximately, let's zoom in, okay? All right, zoomed into wave 5 of 3, okay? And if you missed this morning's episode, just have a quick look. I explain a little more in depth, okay? So I'm just going to take the measurement tool. Wave 1 of wave 5 took 120 days, okay? It's 4 months, okay? Corrections usually take longer than the impulses. So wave 2 took its time. It took, 244 days, okay? Now, wave 3 of 5, typically the most impulsive and, blah, blah, blah. The longest of the Elliott waves, typically. Not always, but typically, okay? That took 365 days, almost exactly, okay? A year to pump out, all right? And that gave you a lot of price action, right? It gave you 1,500% about, yeah? 1,500% for wave 3. Let's see. Yeah, that's right. Sorry, I'm just thinking really quickly. Okay. No, that's wrong. What am I saying? That's why I was silent. I was like, dude, in my head, I was like, what the hell are you talking about? This right here is wave 4, okay? And what I was counting was definitely not impulsive. This whole thing, this dump right here, that's just the impulse, the C wave of this wave 4. People call it a black swan coronavirus dump, but on the charts, it fits. There's nothing odd about it, okay? This right here, let's zoom out. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Got it. Okay, I was just confusing myself a little bit. If you want to get particular, let me just put the count on here. Because it can be confusing if you don't count it. This is 1. This is 2 down here. This is 3. This is 4. And we're going for 5, okay? Just to preclude any confusion, okay? I think we're going for an extended wave 5, okay? Just based on the larger count, right? And so let me do that again. So wave 1 took all of 153 days. There you go. Wave 2 took, well, we don't care about the wave 2. Wave 3 took 151 days, okay? So I think that was exactly the same amount of time that wave 1 took, yeah? 153 days for wave 1, 154 days for wave 3. So I'd say at least 150 days, okay? What's that? That's 5 months, right? 150 days, that's 5 months. Each month is like 30 days, yeah? 150 over 3, that's 5, yeah? So I would say if we have a super impulsive, sort of a normal wave 5, or I think we're going to get an extended wave 5, I'd say 5 months. That's my rough estimate. I don't understand your question, Nicholas. Why is it going down in your counting? But yeah, so that's why I'm thinking 150 days, so 5 months. All right. Now let's go into, let me just leave this on here. Let's go into what people clicked on the stream for. Okay. I know sometimes people get impatient if you start talking about other things. So let's go on to what the hell Bitcoin is doing right now. All right, let's go on the 3-minute No, let's go on the 5-minute chart. Okay. All right. So this is what I'm seeing. And I said in this morning's video, Bitcoin is breaking out. It already broke out. It already broke out. This to me is clearly an impulse right here, right? For 2 reasons. So first, you see 5 waves, okay? 5 clean waves, really clean. Next, you see that the 5 waves, or sorry. Next, you see that these 5 waves in the triangle are complete, okay? So that tells me that we're done. I see 5 sets of 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 1, oops. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, you can zoom in and count them yourselves, but this is a completed triangle to me. Okay, so that's why, those are the 2 reasons I'm thinking this was our breakout. This was our wave 1. Okay, what do you get after wave 1? You get wave 2. Wave 2 is simply just, what you get after first wave. And I'm seeing a complex correction in wave 2. So wave 2 typically, whether simple or complex, usually complex corrections take long. If price has been dilly-dallying for quite some time, typically, the answer is that it's in a complex correction. So that's why I'm seeing. That's what I'm seeing. A WXYXZ, a 333 correction, right? I'm seeing 3 waves in each. Every corrective wave comes in 3. So a W, that's the initial wave. An X, that's the secondary wave. A Y, okay. An X2, and I'm getting a pivot now for our impulsive wave, okay? And I'm seeing it come here. Very simply, we can do some pattern analysis and we can corroborate it with Fibonacci. So if you look at this WXYX structure, you'll notice, let me turn the magnet off. You'll notice some type of head and shoulders, right? Do you see that? I'm just going to put the little markings so it's very clear. That's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing a head and shoulders. It's a bearish construction. That's what the market's showing us. Okay. And the target is simply the distance of the head to the neckline, superimposed from the side of breakout. And so that would be around here. That's why I got Z coming down here. And that so happens to be the extreme limit of a 2-wave correction, the 618 retracement level. Get off. The 618 retracement level of your 5 waves up. Do you see that? That's why I think it's a wave 2, because this looks like a complex correction, right? And the target is exactly on the 618 of this 5-wave move. Does that make sense? Yeah, hey, Dragonfly Trading. I like your work. I appreciate it. Everybody, if you guys don't follow Dragonfly, what's her name? Can you put your name? It starts with a C. I know it starts with a C. It's on the tip of my tongue. But yeah, she does good Elliott wave work. Yeah, of course. Let me zoom out to my triangle. Let's see. Carrie? I want to say Carrie. Is it Carrie? I'm gonna keep guessing. Here's my triangle. Actually, I saw you mention the triangle, but I wasn't seeing it in the same way you were seeing it. But I did watch one of your updates where you mentioned the triangle. So I basically have this triangle as a B wave. So I have, here, let me zoom out a little more. Carrie, yeah, I got it. Hey, so I basically have, I have these reversal patterns that I like to trade, and they're kind of like a complex correction, but not quite. Um, they're not quite a complex correction because the last wave goes in the opposite direction. Okay, where? Oh, here it is. Here it is. So yeah, usually A wave, a B wave, and then what I call a C section, which is just an a B. So either a flat, a zigzag. I seldom ever see a zigzag, and this is the first time actually I'm seeing a triangle. Maybe I've seen it before, but I haven't paid attention. But it's basically A, B, and then in the C section you get A, B, and then pivot into impulse. So that's exactly what we got here. We got an A wave, B wave, and then in the C section you got another A wave, and the B wave came in the form of a triangle in Bitcoin, but in other assets you can see simple flat correction as you typically do, and then you have your pivot into an impulse right here. This 1, 2, boom. That's what I'm seeing. That's why I think this is a simple WXYXC, or it's not simple, right? It's a triple three. It's a complex correction. And so I think I'm in a short right now. We're going to retest 40K. I've been waiting very patiently for this triple three to play out, but I think we're finally going to go into impulse. I was thinking to myself today, like I became a professional trader at one of the most difficult times, but I'm so thankful. Like I got my ass completely handed to me. So many days, so many times I wanted to quit, and I was able to be slightly profitable in, in the trenches, in really the ugliest. I mean, like, come on, look at this crap. This is what I have to deal with. So when we go into impulsive price action, I mean, come on, it's gonna be. My 5-year-old can probably trade it. It's gonna be so sweet. It's gonna be so easy. It's gonna be a welcome respite from having to battle the market every day and trying to figure out what the hell kind of corrections being printed. And the worst thing about this is not that I can't win trades. It's just you don't win trades significantly enough to really push that PNL into the green. It's like, all right, you took a little loss here, you managed it. Oh, you took a bit of win. All right, you're pretty much break even, pretty much break even, pretty much break even. And then there's an impulsive portion of a correction that finally gets you there if you catch it. And if you mess that up, then there goes your day. I hate it. But like I said, I think this is the best place to learn to trade, really, in these zones of correction. Like the market is typically corrective, right? The time we spend, I mean, just look at this as an example, right? This is a 5-wave impulse right here. It's pure impulsive price action. And it lasted this is a 5-minute chart, by the way, lasted all of an hour and 40 minutes. Right after we go into correction, and that is still going on, and it's been lasting a day, 2 hours and 20 minutes. It's a perfect example of what the market looks like. It's mostly corrective, and then there's some impulse. Nicholas, that's a good question, actually. And that's exactly what I thought. Nicholas asks, how come your triangle doesn't touch the line? Let's zoom back out on the triangle. I was expecting it to, right? I did an episode saying, I actually know when we're going to break out. I had this E coming down here, and I measured the period because we were regular, right? It was something like 6 days and 2 hours, something like 6 days and 5 hours or something, right? And then I measured 6 days and 5 hours, and I said, this is when we touch this line at this price, at this point, we're going to go. I had it, measured. I measured the top. The top was like 7 days and 1 hour between each peak, and then each trough was 6 days and 2 hours. So I also assumed that it was going to touch the bottom, but it didn't, right? And we stopped short, but we clearly have our 3 waves of E, right? Very, very clearly. And to answer that, Nicholas, that's the reason you use stops. That's the reason it's trading and not sort of fortune telling, right? Because we don't know, we have no idea. And what happened? Is this legal? Absolutely. That just means the price is really, really eager to run. It's kind of like why would you get a running flat? You would get a running flat because actually the running flat would look like this, right? Something like that. The price is eager to run, and so it doesn't come down to your 0 point or your origination point. So I think that just signifies the bullish character of the asset. Yeah, Carrie, it's been tough. It's been tough. Yeah, it's 333. I mean, but Carrie, I think this is the best, because if you can do this, if you can trade all of these ending diagonals, these triple, 3 corrections, these complex corrections, like, I mean, like these are skills for life. And I think, as traders, professional traders, like, we really look at the long game. One of my mentors, he's been trading for 37 years, and it's really about the long game. It's all about the long game. You really want to look at it as a lifelong pursuit where you're continually perpetually perfecting your craft, and perfecting yourself as a result, because trading is, you're essentially, any mistake that you make is a reflection of the things, your insecurities, your inabilities to be disciplined and consistent. That's just part of you, right? Character wise, and your psychology and all that stuff. So I enjoy it. Obviously we want to be profitable all the time, every day, but it's tough. But if you can get yourself back up and even break even in this chop, in this very, very challenging environment, then that really helps, I think, in the long run, when we get the easy times like these next 5 months, I think, of positive price action. Yeah, she's great. She's very, I appreciate good analysis, and I always say good analysis doesn't have to be right. Good analysis, right or wrong, is sound. Carrie, typically, I learned from her because she repeats things and she has her fundamentals down, and I think that's important. Like, when you listen to somebody say, I heard, and not to throw mud or anything like that, I watched him for a long time, but who was it? It was Savvy, Crypto Savvy. He said that we were in a 535 flat correction. And I was like, dude, that's a zigzag. Like, you can't have a 535 flat correction. And then he sent me a website, and I'm like, I can't even listen to you anymore, because I respect your ideas, but like, you can have different ideas. I don't mind. It's just like, now you're making stuff up, like new rules. You know what I mean? It's just, it doesn't help, I think. And as a trader, as a chartist, I think you have to be very confident in your calls, but also there's a space for humility in when you just flub, or maybe you don't have some part of your rudiments intact, and so you just have to recognize that. But you can never get better. You can never reach extra levels when you're not painfully and starkly honest with yourself and say, I just don't have that, or I didn't know that, or I've been making this same mistake over and over again. You can't get any better, right? So anyway, let's see. Yeah, so that's what I'm seeing. I'm looking for rejection here. Let's see. We've got our B wave coming up. We're going to, at least, because this is a flat correction, let's go on the smaller time frame. Let's go on the minute chart. We can see the character. So very, very specifically, we have 3 waves here. So, okay, so that's your A wave, your initial break of structure. The B wave is going to come to at least the 786 here before rejecting into our impulse. That's what I'm seeing, right? So I think we're gonna hit that at the very least, the 786, because the flat correction retracements, the B wave retraces to at least a 786, and I've said it before. That's one of my favorite setups. If I was scalping long here with size, I would start. This is one of the few instances where I even get in and long a B wave. And this is a high probability trade. You're going to hit at least a 786 and maybe beyond. But a lot of times it just touches the 786, you take your profit, and then you flip short. Anyway, so that's what I'm seeing on the charts. Let's see. Hey, Isaac. This, people get very, very impatient. These complex corrections are slow. They take a while, except for, the impulsive part of it. Everything else is, a B wave or a combination of B waves. And so they're just choppy and non-directional, and they're confusing, and they suck. Oh, I wanted to update on VRA because, everybody, it's a very popular coin. And everybody knows I'm a bag holder. And I had previously said that I was looking to sell VRA at 16 cents, right? Because my long-term analysis was that we were going to get rejected at 52K, because I was seeing that we were in wave 1 of 5 waves down, but I no longer think that, okay? So for VRA, I don't have a full chart. As with most of these assets, you basically have, whatever you have based on when they were released, okay? So you just have a bit of information, okay? And I would say that I don't like trading things that I don't have charts for, because I'm kind of trading blind. However, given that Bitcoin is the market maker, I believe that just like Bitcoin is in a type of wave 4 correction, okay, and it's a running flat. Here I see a running flat as well. So I'm going to assume it's a wave 4. But even if I assume that, and you see I have an alarm here, I have this as the minimum extension. Obviously, wave 5 extends to a minimum of the 1236 to the 1618. Okay, that's a minimum extension. I know a lot of books say 1618, but in my experience, you can also get inverse 1236. So if you pull your Fibonacci retracement tool, two ways to project wave 5. One, you can use wave 3 and project the 618 with the Fibonacci extension tool, or you can use Fibonacci retracement tool from the top of wave 4 to the bottom, which would be about here, yeah? Or would it be here? Let's see. Let's just say here. My hunch, I would initially do that if I wasn't questioning myself, so let's go with that. So I'd say the minimum distance for wave 5 would be 16 cents, but I'm not selling there. What I'm going to do, my strategy for exit for VRA, is I'm simply going to follow Bitcoin. And I'm going to wait until Bitcoin puts in its 5 waves, okay? And I talked about it this morning. Instead of prematurely selling, what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for an initial rejection. I know this is scary, and I know this is not... Instead of trying to predict, I'm just going to let the market tell me I've got rejection. So let's just say I'm getting 5 waves up, okay? I'm going to wait for the price to reject with a flat or a zigzag, typically a flat, right? And for the end of that rejection to reject to wave 4 of the previous trend, okay? Then, just like I just said, I'm going to exit at the 786 if it's a flat correction. If it's zigzag, I'm going to exit at the 0.5 minimum retracement levels, yeah? I'm going to exit at the 786 of the retest, okay? Because that basically, that's just a breakout retest, right? instead of trying to predict and selling short, that could be the difference between, tens of thousands or, thousands of dollars, right? I'm just going to let price show me the end of the trend. For people who are not chart literate, they can't do this, okay? But if you all are listening to this channel, you're probably chart literate. You know how to read a chart. You know maybe somewhat a little bit about Elliott wave. Leverage this into actually making money, letting your winners run. We're going to be in parabolic price action. A lot of people, what they're going to do is they're going to sell intermittently because they don't know. They'll say it's impossible to find the top. Nobody can predict the top, right? Obviously, we can make projections, but yes, this is true in some sense. You don't know if it's going to be an extended fifth wave. It's going to be a regular fifth wave. Even if it's a regular fifth wave, maybe it's just the 1, 2, 3, 6 of inverse 1, 2, 3, 6 of wave 4, or maybe it's all the way to the 1, 6, 1, 8, or somewhere in between. We don't know, okay? But you don't have to. That's the beauty of it. You don't have to know. Wait for the rejection. Watch your profits dwindle a bit, but always know that price doesn't move in one direction willy-nilly. Look for, and you have to track your waves carefully, but try to get a good read on your 5 waves up, and they'll be easier done once it's complete. And even if you don't have that, if you see a retracement to wave 4 of the previous trend, it's likely going to be your A wave. Now I say likely because it's possible that you can get the ever so tricky ending diagonal, okay? And Bitcoin likes to do that at the end of trends. It likes to do that at the end of trends and then keep going because it likes to put in ending diagonals at the end of the third wave of a major move. So it can get tricky. I'm not saying that this is a fail-proof method, but it's just one method. Obviously, if you don't trust your reading skills, then by all means, sell intermittently, okay? But this is just the strategy that I'm looking to employ. And again, I'm going to be looking out for ending diagonals. I'm going to try and be very careful. I'm going to be using my volume indicator, all that stuff to try to make my reads. But I'm going to try to get the meat of the move and try to sell close to the top. So that's my strategy for VRA. I don't know how high it's going to go. And just to give you an example, let's just say, for argument's sake, that this indeed is a wave 4. Let's say. I mean, look, I don't know what it is. Is this a wave 2 because it just started? Is this a wave 2 right? No, that doesn't make sense. Or is this a wave 2 rather because it just started? Or is it a wave 4 because Bitcoin's in wave 4? I don't know. Okay. But I'm not going to, try and guess and then base my profits off of that. I'm just going to let it ride and watch Bitcoin, right? And let's just say this was either wave 2 or wave 4. It doesn't matter. Let's pull the Fibonacci extension tool from the top to the bottom. And let's just say it's a wave 4, then it would be, I would expect 22 cents, okay? If this is a wave 2 and we're extending for wave 3, I'd expect $37, between $37 and $268. I mean, do you see how broad this projection can be? So I'm not going to lie to you or try to deceive you or confuse you. I have no freaking clue, but I don't have to, yeah? Corey, a fake out of the triangle would be nice. There's an NPOC sitting at 42.75 on top of a daily candle close. So what do you mean by the fake out of the triangle, Corey? And Isaac, yeah, we did look at BTC. What particular, let me just look at BTC once more because I know people just jumped on. Hey guys, just like the stream real quick if you happen to be on. Let's go to BTC. Let's go on the 5-minute chart. So yeah, the whole idea was I'm just going to talk about what BTC is doing currently. And I'm seeing a 333 WXYXZ, right? It's a complex correction. And so I'm seeing that we are in a B wave. Did we hit our 786 minimum retracement yet? I think so. This is the A wave. We pull Fibonacci retracement tool from the top of A to the bottom of A. Yeah, something like that. Let's see. Let's go into a smaller time frame just to get distance of A properly. Nope, we haven't yet. So we're going to hit the 786 minimum retracement for this B wave, and then we're going to come down impulsively. That's what I'm seeing. And I'm seeing that we come down, Isaac, to the 40K region. Reason being, that represents the 618. That represents the 618 of this impulse right here, okay? And that would be valid retracement for 2 wave. And right here, if you do pattern analysis, you take the neckline of this move, you see that you have a head and shoulders. Just repeating this for people that just jumped on really quickly. Okay, that was a fail. Let's try that again. Let me turn the magnet off. Boom. So this is my head and shoulders, and obviously we know head and shoulders break down from the top, the distance of the head from the neckline to the point of breakout, and you see that we get our 618 40K. And how poetic that right before we take off and we were below 40K, we go above 40K. I mean, you don't have to bust out your VPVR, but you can just show that 40K has been historically, let's go on the daily, it's just been a very, very, very important point of control. Okay, lots of buying and selling at the 40K region. Turn on the VPVR and you can tell that. We have, well, the main VPVR point of control is at 39, but there's one at 40K as well, right here. Okay, so that's what I'm seeing. That's why I'm seeing it. That's why I'm short, scalping short for that move. But today's a big day because I do believe that this is the final move down. And as we know in Elliott wave theory, that third wave is the biggest and most impulsive wave. So let's talk briefly about where I think we can go once we bust out of this triangle. Okay, if we break out of this triangle, yes, Nicholas, the B wave can go up all the way up to the 1618. Right? B waves can go from the 0.5 all the way to 1618 of an A wave. So if we break out, we can go where? So if we are in a triangle, and this is a legitimate triangle, which I think it is, simply take the height of the triangle from the point of breakout, which would be about here, and that's usually where you see your breakouts of triangles, right? 2/3 of the way down from the apex, and you see that this breakout would take us to the 50K region. Now, would it take us to the 50K region all in one go? Let's see. We already have our first wave, so what we can do is we can use our Fibonacci extension tool to project our third wave, okay? And so let's go here, trend-based fib extension from the bottom. Let's turn a magnet on. From the bottom of this wave E to the top of this 5-wave move to where we think it's going to retrace, the 618. And we see that the 1618, between the 1618 and 2 is probably our first target, okay? And I do see that. I think I had 44.5, so around the 44.5 as my first target. And I think that the wave 5 will come up to 50K. And then what will happen is we get a retracement, and then we go and make a all-time high. That's what I'm seeing. So my first target, my very first target for this move, and let's clean this up. I don't like too much stuff on this chart. I still have the alarm up there. I had an alarm because I've been waiting for this breakout for some time. But you see that. Let's turn the VPVR off. Do you see that? All that price action? I like looking at price action just alone. I see a lot of resistance here. I don't see any way we get to this point without some sort of rejection. So this is where I'm if I'm trading, if I'm spot trading, I'm not really touching it, to be honest. But if I'm just trading leverage, I'm gonna sell here. I'm gonna sell here at around 44.5. Yep, 44.5 is my first take profit on the long after we go here. Again, that's just a trading plan. Could be wrong. One of my mentors, he says, you always want to be in the moment. A good trader is only concerned with the now. So you can have the best trading plan in the world. The novice trader is blinded by his or her anticipation of what they think should happen, and as a result they mismanage or they they don't execute as well. But the professional, the clear-eyed trader has no assumptions and trades based off of what the price action is saying. So that's what I try to hold. I really try to hold that idea and trade that way. I have all of these ideas. I look at the charts all the time. It's fun. I like charting. Charting's fun. But trading is another animal where really not to trick yourself and to really be your best self, you have to really check your assumptions at the door. Obviously, you're going to have to use your assumptions to formulate your trade plan, to formulate, reasoning for taking a trade, right? However, if price action is saying something that contradicts your trade plan, it's harder to accept if you're so stringent in your views of what should happen. Nothing should happen. You shouldn't be concerned with what should happen. You should just be concerned with what's happening. So yeah, I really like how the idea of just being in the now. So right now, that's what I'm seeing, and we'll see. We'll see once we get here. If we do get here, if I am able to take profit here, we'll see what happens. But I'm anticipating a breakout, and I would love to get it, go long there. Obviously, I'm gonna set my stops. What invalidates this next trade, going long at the 618, very simply, and this is like a bread and butter trade, so much so that if I had to distill my trading strategy in one phrase, it'd be hide behind the 618. That's all I do. I try to trade impulses, and I hide my stops behind the 618, which is my invalidation. And the way I hide it is, as I said, I use the 50% level of the bands. I don't know why it works. I just got the idea from a Gann analysis. The 50% level is crucial to any kind of level. And I just used it, and observed it. And I see that price can wick into a band, a Fibonacci sort of retracement band, but it can't go past the 50% point, or else it'll hit the next target. So that's why I always put my stops a little bit behind the 50% level. So that's basically my trading strategy for setting stops. And, you know, for any trade, to win any trade, you need three things, right? You need to know whether the price is going up or down. You have to know where to set your stops, right? Where to invalidate your trade, right? Because that's risk management. That's everything, right? You define your loss. You define when you're wrong. You define by your stop loss, how much of a loss you're going to take. That keeps you in the game. That keeps you profitable. That keeps you from not losing. That's the first step to being profitable. And then the last thing is you have to know when to take profit. So all those three things. And so the second part of where to set my stops is taken care of by the whole idea that an impulse is no longer an impulse after the retest goes beyond the 618. Okay, the corrective wave can't pass the 618, or else it's not an impulse. It's a corrective wave. It's a three leg corrective wave. Isaac, at 41.5, we also have Val on the top range in golden pocket retracement. What is VAL? 4150. Oh, I see what you say. 4150. So 4150. Oh, you're saying that. Okay, yeah. You're saying that's a confluent with something else, right? VAL. I don't know what VAL is. But I think what you're trying to say is the 618 or the target to my Z wave is confluent with something else, yeah? Whatever VAL is. I'm not surprised if that's the case. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. You know what? Let's talk about one more thing and then I'll cut off because I actually have to go to meditation. But let's talk about one thing. I think it's going to be up only for pretty much every asset. But there are some assets that may not move quite yet, okay? And I was looking at, what was I looking at? Luna. Luna was moving a ton, right? While everything else was dumping. And now I'm looking at it, and I don't know if it's going to move when everything else is moving. All right, let's get off the 5-minute chart. Let's go on the daily. But just be careful. There's certain assets, value area low. Okay, I get it. Thanks, Corey. I don't really know what that is, but I'm assuming that you're saying it's confluent, right? So I'm looking at Luna and I see 5 waves, 3 waves, 5 waves, 3 waves, 5 waves, right? That's an impulse, right? So after that, what do you get? And this is drawn up because one of my friends, he works for Goldman Sachs and he's into crypto, and he was asking me because he knows I chart where I saw Luna going, and I was like, dude, I wouldn't get involved. He's like, why? Luna's great. He's talking about the fundamentals. I'm like, I'm just looking at the charts. I don't care about the fundamentals. It's a great project fundamentally. I know that. But I'm not going to touch anything that's put in 5 waves very clearly. I mean, my kid can count that, right? That's clear as day. This is what I'm saying. Like, even though Bitcoin is going to be pumping and most of the crypto market is going to be pumping along with it, there are some assets that are not going to pump. This always happens. There's always some exceptions, okay? And those assets are most likely going to be the ones that when everything else was dumping, they were the ones everybody was talking about and saying, hey, see, everything else is shit except this. So be very careful. Watch out for those assets during this whole time, these past few months, that for some reason they've been outperforming and everything else has been suffering. Don't touch those. What you want to get into are the things like SHIB or things you haven't heard about because they've been getting crushed, okay? Just look at the charts. The charts are very clear. If you see 5 waves up, you're going to get 3 waves down, remember, right? So here, you're going to get, you got the first 2 legs of an A wave, you're going to get the last leg of an A wave. Then you're going to get your B wave retracement. Then you're going to get your C wave, right? Very, very clearly, right? This is not, it has nothing to do with what they're doing, what Do Kwon is doing, or whatever that team is doing. It's just in the charts, right? Very quickly, look at SHIB. I mean, look how beautiful that is. This morning, and I said it in the stream this morning, I bought $500 of SHIB this morning, and I was like, I'm not touching it until it reaches a few million. Because, I mean, look how great this trade is. I mean, you're literally buying the bottom. You're buying support, right? You want to buy support and sell resistance. Whatever this is, I see 5 waves, right? And then 1, 2, 3 waves correcting. And if you take your fib retracement tool from the base of this 5-wave move, from the base of this 5-wave move to the top, you see that you've basically corrected in the golden pocket. Like, oh my God. Look for stuff like this and then buy. This is financial advice. Look for stuff like this and then buy. Like, I want everybody who listens, watches, and subscribes to be rich as fuck. Like, if we're gonna learn all this theory, like, we better get paid for it. This is why we learn this stuff. This is textbook. 5 waves up, 3 waves down. Guess what you're going to get? All right? SHIB, I'm not going to talk about its fundamentals. It's worthless to me. I mean, maybe there's some use cases, whatever. I don't care. I didn't buy it because I believe in the project or anything like that. I know that it's going to be around and it's not going to get rugged because it's in the top 20 or top 30, right? So I think that's worth the investment. It's well enough. It's known, well enough known, and there's enough kind of holders. There's a ton of holders, right? So fundamentally, I don't have to think about it too much. I'm not too worried about the project being viable and existing, right? But look, these 5 waves gave you 1,600%, okay? If that was a 1 wave, then wave 3 is going to give you even more. If that was a wave 3, wave 5 may give you just as much, if not more. That's what I'm saying. Like, just look for shit like this to invest in. Don't invest in stuff like Luna. Do you see what I mean? Again, this has nothing to do with the fundamentals. I don't talk about the fundamentals much on this channel. I have done fundamental videos, but this has nothing to do with the fundamentals. This is everything to do with the chart. The chart has printed 5 waves. It needs 3 waves to correct. Stay away from it if you want to make money. If you want to lose money, by all means, buy Luna. You'll be enjoying an $11, $4 to $19 Luna. By all means, if you want to watch your money just evaporate, right? Don't touch stuff like that. So that's just what I wanted to say. Pretty much everything up only, except for the stuff that's not. And for the stuff that's not, just look at the chart on the high time frame and see if you have 5 waves. If you don't, and you have these awesome bull flags, right? Like in SHIB. SHIB always has beautiful charts. That's a bull flag. That's, I mean, if let's say you knew nothing about Elliott wave, right? That's a bull flag. The minimum distance of this up move would be this. Sorry, one sec. Let me get my line. The minimum distance for this would be like this. Right? Whatever that is. It's so little. I mean, I don't know, man. It's fucking 0.000. Like, I don't know what the hell that means. But that's a minimum move, right? SHIB didn't. I mean, no, Nicholas. You said SHIB pumped so hard. SHIB pumped so hard ages ago. SHIB stopped pumping in October of last year. That was 150 days ago, right? Like that's the whole point. Like you don't want to buy things that just pumped, but sometimes that's wrong because sometimes you're just in an impulse and it'll keep going up. But anyway, you can just see, look at the chart. It's corrected and it's getting ready to go back impulsively. You have your reversal pattern, right? The reversal patterns we talk about on this channel, right? Your A wave to wave 4 of the previous trend, right? Your B wave, your A, B, C. I mean, like, this is literally the best fucking place to buy. Look at this support. I mean, just look for stuff like this. I think there's another I saw. Moon River. I mean, look at that. Look at that. There's tons of stuff like this, yeah? I mean, you know the difference between a straight downtrend and a correction that's kind of like... actually, you know what? Here... Oh, no, yeah. You have your A, B, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, that's your correction. That's why we learn this stuff, right? 3 waves, your A wave, your B wave, and then your impulse, and then you can continue going up. Boom. Done. That's a buy. That's a strong fucking buy. All these are buys, except like the Lunas of the world. Stay away from the Lunas of the world. The thing I hate the most is I'm not on here telling you to buy or sell anything, typically, right? I'm just sharing my Bitcoin analysis. But in these cases, what would break my heart is, I'm like up only, the whole market's going to go up only, and Luna's very popular, and like, half of you are invested in Luna, and like, oh, but Dean, my Luna's going down. What's happening? Like, don't get wrecked. There's no reason to. I mean, it's very clear. There's certain things that are clear, some things that are ambiguous, and then I'm like, I just don't know, But this is clear as day. Something like Link, for instance. This is very clear also. Very clear. 1, 2, 3. I mean, there's 3 waves. Every correction needs 3 waves. In the third wave, you have your impulse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then after that, you have your reversal pattern. Right? A, B, C. I mean, like you should be making money in your sleep, quite literally, in the next 5 months. You should be making money in your sleep. And there's no reason anybody subscribed to this channel, watching this channel, that knows anything about Elliott wave theory, the rudiments of 5 waves up and 3 waves down. There's no reason anybody should be buying and involved in anything that's not going up tremendously. There's absolutely no reason. There's no reason any of you should be looking at a chart of Luna and say, oh, this looks like a good buy. No reason. There's no reason. These things are easy to identify, right? Easy to identify. I think another one was Near. Near is kind of goofy. Let's see. I think I saw 5 waves. Near's kind of goofy. Near's kind of goofy. And this is another example of something that it's kind of been outperforming. Be careful of those things that were outperforming the market when everything else was suffering. Yeah? Like, I don't know what this is, but it doesn't look poised to move to me, right? Like, something that's poised to move has 5 waves down, right? Where do you see your 5 waves down here? You know what I see here? I see 1, whoops. I see 1, 2, 3. I see a B wave, and then I see 5 waves coming down. I wouldn't touch Near. Do you see what I mean? Use your skills. Use your skills to make money. This is when we make money. All that other time, like, it's hard. I mean, and this is just the reality of the market. And this is the last thing I'll say, and then I really have to go. Let's go back to Bitcoin. All this time, these past months, you've been in the market, you've been suffering. This is when you reward yourself. All those people that you see, like the Bit Boys and all those things, like they don't know how to read charts. They put money in during a period of time where the market was going up, up, and up, and they were rewarded. And good for them, right? You know how to read. You know the power of Elliott wave theory. There's no reason you shouldn't take advantage of when the market's actually going up, right? All this time, this whole correction right here, you suffered through. Suffering. Oh, whoo, suffering. Ooh, suffer. This is when you eat. This is when it stops being hard. For these next 5 months, this is when you make your money. And then, even if you suck at trading, it's okay because you can live off of all the money you made during an actual bull run. People talk and say the bull run. This is not a bull run. That's a B wave. That's a 1, 2, 3. That's a corrective wave. That's not a bull run. Yes, higher highs and higher lows in the impulsive portion of this B wave, right? Even higher highs and higher lows in the A wave of the B wave. However, a real bull run is parabolic price action like what we got prior to getting into correction, right? That's a bull run. That's what we've been missing. And hopefully you take advantage of that and don't do something goofy like get into near or get into, the hell else did I say? Luna. And what's another one? Just be careful of the ones people have been talking about during our depression. AVAX. People have been talking about AVAX. Look at the chart. See, AVAX is another one. Let's see. All right. We have 1, 2, 3 waves down, okay? Yeah, AVAX is another one. This is in correction right here. See, this has been doing so well. Oh my God, AVAX. And people confuse just general chart patterns and the quality of a project. They say, this project sucks and this project's great. It's going up. Those two things have nothing to do with one another necessarily, right? Shiba Inu will make great gains. It has no bearing on the quality of its project. AVAX, 3 waves up, or 3 waves down rather. You're going to get 3 waves up to a minimum of the 786, okay? So you're going to be fooled. People who hold AVAX are going to be fooled because they're going to see positive price action, right, to at least $116. After which, they're going to get a pivot into an impulse down while everything else continues to appreciate, okay? So be very careful with those things. Again, if you don't know how to read charts, just remember, like what have people been talking about on crypto Twitter? What have people been talking about on Lunar Crush, right? For this whole time where Bitcoin, Ethereum, pretty much the whole market, 95% of the market was just suffering. They were talking about AVAX. They were talking about Luna. They were talking about Near Protocol. Get the hell out of those because they're in correction. Unless you like corrective waves, you haven't had enough. Don't go near. Yeah, maybe we can look at it together. We are here to make money anyway, so no offense. Yeah, bro. Yeah, Steve. Link is good. We just looked at Link. Did you not see Link? He said it's a good time to buy Link. So basically, oh, Steve. All right, let's do it again for Steve because Steve came late. Yeah, Steve, real quick. Link is good. You're good with Link, right? Why are we good with Link? Very simply, and let's just keep it simple, right? You see 3 waves down. It's A wave. Sorry, 1, 2, 3. 3 waves. That's your correction. Okay, 3 waves. And this third wave, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you're ending diagonal. After 3 waves, you can get 5 waves. You can continue to get 3 waves, but it's highly unlikely, right? It's likely that if this were some sort, whatever came up here, a 5-wave move, you got 3 waves down, you're gonna continue your uptrend. Okay, so you're okay with Link. Link is okay. I don't know what came before, you know, because we don't have all that information. But at least you know that Link is going to give you positive price action, significant positive price action, because it's literally it's done its time. It's done its correction. It's put in 3 waves correctively against a larger trend. Yeah. So I would buy Link. Yes. So yeah, I gotta go, guys. But yeah, this has been fun. It's always fun. Love this stuff. That's why I do it for a living. It's not work. It's a real joy. And yeah, I'm seeing Bitcoin coming down to 40K, at which point I'm taking profit and longing the shit out of it to 44.5 or something like that. Yeah. Yeah. So printing a reversal pattern here on the small time frames, right? You're getting your little trident, your 3 sets of corrective waves. So then I'm seeing a dump to 40K, and then yeah, that's it. All right, yeah, always fun. Take care, all. Bye.